Hi there, this is a video just to show how I built this rustic pizza oven using traditional Spanish materials. Right, these are bricks that I just bought locally and I just set them out on the floor. They're Roman type Spanish bricks. Then I used an old wheel to create an arch. It was quite simple really, just propped it up on a few bricks and then built the bricks around the wheel. There you can see it built. Then just pull the loose bricks out from under the wheel and it should easily pull forward, and then you'll be left with just an arch. And this can be done while the bricks are still wet, and then you can clean the brickwork up. Obviously continue building up the brickwork around the edge, and I created a little inside division here to store the wood in that area, the firewood, and then carry on building up until I was at the finished brick level. Ready to fill up with some hardcore around the edges, and I just put some sort of planks across, ceramic planks across the wood storage area, and then poured concrete on top of that, and then bedded bricks on top. This is the internal part of the fire. This is just an old fire insert which I welded up the holes to make them a bit smaller at the back. Now you can see that set into the next phase of the oven, and that's going to create the floor between the top, the fire part, and the cooking part. And there it is a bit further up. So now we need to make the arched part of the oven at the top. And now I created an arch, just cut a piece out of an old steel oil drum which I propped up on two bits of wood, and I slightly sprung it out so that it would be easy to remove. And here you can see the brickwork being built up bit by bit around the drum. Obviously don't forget to leave a little hole at the front for your chimney. It's just continuing up. You can see the piece of wood inside that's propped up on, which will be removed after. And this is still when it's wet and the bits of wood are pulled out, and the drum drops down quite easily, and it's sprung out so it springs in away from the wet cement, and then you just pull it forward and it comes out quite easily, and also allows you to clean the inside while the cement's still wet. And that's basically it then really. We've got the brickwork completely done of the fire. Obviously there's a few bricks put across the doorway part there, which you can see. I just put a piece of metal across and supported them bricks there. Now the next phase is making a door, which luckily I had an old fireplace which I cut the door out of. First of all, I just made this arched piece of metal to go in there to give me a template, and then I just had this old fire and I laid that on the fire and chalked it round. Obviously I've cut that door down to make the door. This is just a picture of the door being welded up, cut and shut to make it fit into that arched portion that I'd cut out. Here's just a test fit, just to initially to see that it sort of went in before finishing it off. It did have glass, but that's broke, so I just welded a piece in there and then just sprayed it matte black, and now it's ready almost to be fitted into the oven. I just made it a tight fit, to be honest. I didn't put any mechanical fixings into it, just tapped it into the opening and then just put a little tiny bit of cement with my finger around any voids around the door to seal it up. Also bought a cheap thermometer, just got it off the internet, and just drilled a hole through you can see on the left hand side there, just so we can see what the temperature is going to be in the oven basically. And there's a picture of the thermometer, as you can see, and the completed door. I did try the oven at this stage, but I found quite a lot of smoke was also escaping out of the bottom compartment there. So later on I decided to make another door. And the second time I used it, it worked a lot better, because with a door on the bottom, it was a lot more controllable, the fire, because I could shut that up and it actually drew the fire through up into the top compartment, the cooking compartment, and then out of the chimney. Here's a view inside the bottom compartment. I just put some loose bricks in there and then an old grill there, which gives it a bit of airflow under the fire. We put the wood on top of there, and you can see the steel divider above at the top. And here's inside the top compartment. On top of the steel divider I just put some wet sand and bedded bricks on top of the wet sand, because obviously the steel moves as the fire heats it up underneath, and I didn't want to put cement on top of the steel because I think the cement would have just cracked. Well, I've used the fire a couple of times now and it seems to be working okay. I haven't had it up to full temperature yet, but the next time I use it I will. Oh, and on the chimney here I just used 2 loose bricks to help control the chimney, basically, how fast it was burning. And with some scrap I made an old shovel, and here's a pizza coming out on the shovel, the first pizza out of the oven. Hopefully I'll do a few more. Thanks for watching, everyone.